Focus for this video is on a new tool widely used by startups as well as innovative corporations. Let's define this business model canvas, this tool, a little bit. It can be a strategic management tool as well as entrepreneurial tool. Again, you will learn a lot by going through the process on a regular basis and by having your team complete one of these as well. And I promise you they will not be the same. In those gaps, you will learn something new. The use of this tool assumes that business plans change frequently. You know, the old days of a 40-page, 50-page business plan, those are not gone entirely. There's still benefit from working through an in-depth business plan like that. However, most are not read by investors or banks or often partners or some members of the team. However, a one-page plan is obviously easy to read. More importantly, it's great for communications, and it's easy to change. The last point is redundant. To have a business plan on one page there's a beauty in that simplicity, again, for communicating to your team and to partners, including investors. What can it do? Well, it allows you to describe, design, challenge, or change your business model. What the realization is, it is likely to change as you learn lessons from the market. It can help you more easily explain your business internally and externally. And again, the goal is that many people within your organization and your advisory board, for that matter, complete this business model canvas, again, just for your business. And then you compare where there are similarities and where there are differences. So here we are, the business model canvas laid out in its block structure with the header, which we'll walk through one by one. Top left, who are your key partners, suppliers, peers, or other stakeholders? What do you get from them? What can you offer them? Key activities, what key activities do you do for customers, suppliers, peers, or other stakeholders? Again, we don't need a long list of partners or activities in this case, but the essential ones. Key resources, which resources do you or your suppliers, customers, peers, or other stakeholders need? Value proposition in the middle here. What problems are you solving and what needs are you addressing for your customers and what makes you different? So again, think back to the process that you went through to create your list of possible business ideas and to refine those business ideas. Here is where you will put some of that work into practice. Customer relationships. How do you connect with your customers? How do you keep your customers? How do you communicate with them? What are their preferred methods of communication, which will vary based on demographics, kind of education level, age, and so forth. Channels. How are you reaching and selling to your customers? Do the existing channels provide access to all potential customers? Does it match with how they want to be reached? So again, some similarities with the customer relationships up top. Customer segments. No surprise, we want clarity. You want clarity on who exactly are your customers. So again, think about job titles, where they live, what their fears are, what their hobbies are, the education levels, how can you relate to them? And then which customers are most valuable to your business. Just because you can have a customer does not mean they're all created equal. Some will buy a lot, some will buy a little, some will be hard to deal with, others will be easy to deal with. You may not like some of your customers. Can be kind of differences in values or culture fit. More importantly, it's how much are they committing to your business, the kind of total lifetime value of said customer relative to the friction, right, to interact with and have that customer as part of your business. Cost structure down at the bottom left. What are the most important costs in your business? Which of our key resources, your key resources, are most expensive? And similarly, which activities are most expensive? Thinking about it differently, are you a cost-driven business where you seek to be very lean because your customer expects to pay lower prices and to shop around a lot? Or are you value-driven, right, where you may be able to charge premium values? Finally, the revenue streams. For what values are customers willing to pay? Very important part of this is your value proposition strong enough to justify the price. So again, as we discussed in prior videos, even a great product is not necessarily a great business. It's got to be a need to have, not a nice to have. The customers have to have enough revenue, income, margin, disposable income, etc., in order to afford the price that you're asking. Key conclusions. Business plans are going to change. They are not written in stone. Secondly, the business model canvas can serve as an efficient communication and strategy tool for refining your pitch, competitive advantage, and really your chances of success. Finally, the whole team can and should be involved in this process on a regular basis. There is a power in many minds. We cannot see everything. Even if you're deeply immersed as the leader of your startup or your corporate initiative, there is power from seeing how others see the opportunities and the risks. Not only that, but in this process, you can get a lot of buy-in from your team, and therefore you're not the only champion. So when things get tough, others are excited to put in the extra effort because they also were involved in crafting the strategy. Finally, questions for you. When will you create your first business model canvas? What is your self-defined due date? So again, pause the video, write that down. When will you complete your first version based on what you've learned in this course? Number two, who else will you ask to complete the business model canvas about your new business? Could it be a co-founder, mentor, advisory board? Again, the goal is to create these independently and then compare them, ideally in a group, ideally live, so you can explain the shorthand for how you see opportunities, risks, differentiators, channels, etc. Finally, how often will you review your business model canvas in order to capture lessons learned? This is the idea. It's an iterative process. Your business plan should not be written once and sit on a shelf. So with that, I encourage you to begin to incorporate all that you've learned over the different videos and modules so far into call it version 1 for your startup idea or the framing for your corporate initiative, this kind of entrepreneurship endeavor, and then continue to think through this over the next couple of videos. Thanks, and see you in the next video.